Yeah,
Well, guys, we're going to leave football for a little bit, and we're going to go back to our segment of Brandon's bullpen as our guy BC is going to talk some baseball news, notes, and just have some fun with baseball. Brandon, we had some interesting stuff happen this last week, man. What you got for us?
I mean, as far as fun goes, like who doesn't love a 21 game losing streak, tying the all-time American League record? Who doesn't love blowing that chance to set the record and then firing your manager on top of that? Like who does it? If you're Chicago White Sox fans, White Sox Nation, it's a great year, you know. But yeah, no, this past week the White Sox they lost their manager, Pedro Grifol, and they've actually named former All-Star outfielder Grady Sizemore. That's a name I haven't heard
Man, he
in
was
a
so
minute.
fun to watch back in the day.
Was, and he's now going to be leading the charge in as his interim replacement in Chicago. So it's definitely interesting to see like how bad. I mean, other than 2005, the White Sox have been pretty consistently either mid or pretty terrible, but they've really taken it to a whole new level this year. And you going over some of the articles and stuff like that, like some of the other past teams that were just really bad. Obviously, the one that a lot of people remember, the worst record of all time, the Philadelphia Athletics. I was like back in, gosh, like I think around like World War One. Who remembers those days? Good old days of baseball right there, man. But then also too, looking back at some of the other historic teams that were struggling, the late 90s, early 2000s Tigers, those guys were atrociously bad as well. But, so it's very sad to see like, it's sad to see, if you're a fan of any team struggling like that. But the White Sox struggling on a historic level, it's not been good. And just kind of looking at where they kind of sit in the standings, this is I found very hilarious. It's as of recording right now, it's the 8th of August. They sit currently 40 and a half games back in their own division. Like they are just straight up AIDS this year. Like no
This
other
is straight up
team.
AIDS.
They are, man. There's only one, no other team has got even 30 games back. The worst teams are around 25 and 24 and a half. So they're just it's a whole new level of stupid this year for
How the
for
hell are the White Sox worse than the Athletics, who are literally trying to leave the damn town? They were trying to get the hell out of there and purposely lose. Like, this is the
hey,
opposite of the
Athletics are
movie
only
Major
12
League,
games.
man.
A's are only 12 games back in the division. So and it's funny, they sit 20 games below 500, yet they are 12 games back in their own division. That is hilarious. It's a dogfight out in the American League West. And just looking over the West right now, you got the Astros and Mariners fighting for the top spot. Randy Arozarena has been definitely helping out there out west with the Mariners. In the Central, where the White Sox play, you got the Guardians and Twins fighting for the top spot. AL East is always going to be the AL East. Like Steve, you and I both know that. You got the O's and the A's. The Sox, about six
They'll
games
probably
back.
stay about what they are.
Yeah, you got the Rays. They're 10 games out, and they're playing the Cardinals right now, and we are trailing 2-3. I love it. I love it. Rays gonna raise. Out in the National League, we've got the Phillies basically well, not running away with it, but leading the National League East right now. They got 7-game lead over the Mets. Central Division, we've got the Brewers sitting comfortably at 6.5 over the Cards. And then the Dodgers barely above the Padres by 2.5 games. And the Diamondbacks as well, just one behind the Padres. So really, a lot of these divisions are still up for grabs, pretty much. I am kind of curious for you guys' thoughts based on some of the stuff I was just kind of rolling off a little bit. I know it's a little hard to keep up with just because there's just so many tight races right now. But I mean, American League East, you got the O's and the Yankees tied at, or tied at 68 and 47. Out of those two teams, who you guys think's got that one? You got the Yankees coming out in the end in October, or you got the
I'll go
Orioles?
with Baltimore, man. I feel like they're Baltimore is set up pretty well. I think that especially with what's his name coming back from injury or coming back, Jackson Holiday. He's been
Yeah.
on a home run hitting streak. Was it 3 to 4, 5 games in a row? Just been blasting home runs. I like the way the O's are constructed, but I hate to say you can never count out the Yankees. But I like the way the O's are constructed. I think they'll end up taking the AL East.
Yeah. George?
Yeah, I'm gonna be biased and pick the Yankees for sure, and especially with that Chaz. God, I can't even say his name.
Yes.
Jazz
Yeah.
Chisholm trade. I think that just helped them out tremendously for sure. And like Steve said, you can never count them out 100%. It's just that when it comes to October, when it comes to the playoffs, sometimes they really shy away, man, and they don't really show their
Yeah.
shoes trolls. They show some scared side of themselves, and then they can't really get it done, which is the
Yeah.
most disappointing thing for a fan, for real.
Yeah. I mean, going into the Central, you got Guardians pretty much, they got a good 3, 4.5 game lead over the Twins and Royals. So, maybe not the most competitive right now, but slipping over to the West, you got the Astros and the Mariners, again, separated by half a game. Again, the Mariners made some big moves. You got Randy Rosarina. For me, I think that is what kind of puts them over the top in this division. Maybe I'm looking back too much to 2020, Randy Rosarena, but I feel like he's got enough of the postseason chops to be able to camera over the edge. But I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that.
I would go Seattle on that one as well. Seattle's been playing pretty consistently good all season. They got a great offense, but yeah, I would go Seattle and in that one right there.
I mean, I like what Seattle's doing right now, even though they're like so close to being just under 500 as well. Right now, they have a game tonight against the Tigers, but right now they're only 3 games above 500, and their home record is not that good. So, I mean, they better do something about it because if not, they're gonna be left up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what the good thing is too, is that we're getting into the actual time when baseball, is really taking like is starting to, come into its own. You got the playoff races really starting to heat up. There's
Yep.
only 2 months left of the season, and
Yep.
then we get into playoff time. So I think baseball is definitely in a fun spot right now as far as fans goes.
Yeah, and not just that, you've got in about a month around September, you're going to start seeing a lot of the minor league prospects calling up. They can expand their rosters to 40 players. You got September call-ups. It's going to be a thing. A lot of interesting prospects. A lot of these guys you see in the trades that, you trade this guy for a bunch of prospects. They're going to be the guys that you start seeing now filling out these rosters and be like, all right, let's see who can maybe contribute to a postseason push and who is going to be kind of left in the dust right here. So right now, baseball it's in a good spot. Like you said, Steve, it's exciting time. Um, that's pretty much just where the standings are at right now. Again, obviously, there's a lot of time left, so a lot of these games that we see like 5, 6, 7 back,
Yeah,
probably by.
That's nothing come late September. You
Oh yeah,
get on a hot streak, and it doesn't really matter what you were, come July or so, something like that. So I think
for
it's definitely wide open. But
exactly. So, like, that's going to bring pretty much an end to this bullpen segment right here. Like, we're just kind of touching base on where everything stands right now. We'll check back and telling you, October baseball, it's going to be an exciting time.